YouTube, what the crap's going on? Welcome back to Total War Rome 2. Some of you had told me it had been too long. So, Mr. Sol Invictus had sent me this replay. He sent one previously of him fighting with the Iceni and overcoming the Suebi with that interesting chariot action that I called out. This one he wanted to send me because it was actually the flip side. Now he's playing as the Suebi against the Iceni. Now, in general, the Suebi are, in my opinion, a better faction than the Iceni, though the Iceni do have a few things the Suebi do not, as you saw in the previous one. So interesting thing here is you're seeing 4 noble riders. That's crazy. And then 3 berserkers too. So this is a very different army. No sword masters involved against the Iceni. So this is definitely an interesting army. Let's take a look at how he's deployed it to understand how he intends to use it. So look at this huge flank over here of Bloodsworn and Spear Levy. That's an interesting combination because you get a nice shock charge from the Bloodsworn against infantry, and Spear Levy are just brutally effective versus cavalry. And then it's supported by the Germanic Scout Rider and a Noble Rider, so I like that. Another Germanic Scout Rider here. Let's check out this center portion where he's got a Berserker. So again, shock value and nice protection here with the Noble Rider so that the Berserkers do not get charged, and then a single Scout Rider out here. So the Iceni player's got to deal with action on every front. The Scout Riders are good at creating that. If we take a look at the Iceni army, really nice spear protection up front, nice meat shield to Levy Freeman. We're going to see a mix of heroic nobles and chosen swords almost certainly, and that is indeed what we've seen. It's all chosen swords and then 1 heroic noble. There is a heroic rider there, and it looks like several veteran riders, perhaps even 5 of them. Yeah, so 5 veteran riders. 6 veteran riders. Wow. That's quite a cavalry contingent for the Iceni. That's an interesting investment versus the Suebi, who have the Scout Riders, which are going to be particularly annoying. But, I mean, a veteran rider charging into, say, like a Bloodsworn, that can be pretty effective. So, it's going to play an interesting role here. So, we'll see what happens. These guys looking pretty sweet here, the veteran riders. Let's see what's going on from an action standpoint. This flank may be about to get underway here. This is where we have the Berserkers. So Spear Levy being brought up front to chase off the Levy Freeman. And I'm sure that the Spear Levy... Yeah, look at that, absorbed a Javelin volley from the Chosen Sword Band. Very nice. Now, the Spears here did not get a Javelin volley off. So this charge from the Heroic Riders, very well done there by Sol Invictus. Crushed that Levy Freeman. Interrupted the Chosen Sword Band. Here comes the Spear Levy to kind of again absorb the charge, follow up with Berserkers. Chosen Sword Band here again. That getting a better Javelin volley, but still going to be intercepted and then charged by Berserkers. So you're going to see a pretty favorable engagement here, and the veteran riders are going to have an impossible time getting the Noble Riders out of their way. So the Noble Riders going to do very well at mopping up the veteran riders here. So yeah, the Suebi cavalry in this vicinity very much the superior. The Berserkers going berserk almost immediately. This is actually really good because you can see that there's a fear effect here. Very nice rear charge from the Noble Riders combined with the fear effect and the winning decisively by the Berserkers, and you're going to probably see this Chosen Sword Band. Yep, already ate it. And that's the Levy Freeman are gone, and now this unit's going to want to crack too. So very nice breakup of the flank over here. Great Scout Rider support over here, just ripping apart the veteran riders, being extremely annoying. Jav Cav is not to be underestimated in Rome 2. It can be extremely effective versus other melee or shock cavalry and skirmishers. So very useful in Rome 2. Never underestimate that Javelin Cav. So now the main flank. Here comes the Heroic Rider General, acting like he wants to come forward. Straying too close, he's going to eat a Javelin volley there. So now a ton of hit points gone. So again, that's where these cheap spear units come into play. They can be extremely useful. Now Sol Invictus, you can see him pulling back here, and it's because he can't quite engage this army just yet. He might get beaten a little too quickly. He's trying to rally troops around to get in behind this fight, and that's definitely the right move. You've won a big victory on one flank. Don't engage prematurely over here and give your opponent the advantage back. So here comes the charge into the Spear Levy. This is definitely a fruitless charge. It's followed up with javelins by the Bloodsworn. If there is one thing that Rome 2 has plentifully, it is javelins. So cavalry is at huge risk in this game unless it's used right. Now you've got this swarm starting to come up behind the enemy troops, so he is actually he's probably free to engage his Bloodsworn, but he's still playing it safe there. This is completely wrapped up. He's got this Berserker unit he can start to pull in. So, I mean, at this point, the Iceni are going to have to try desperately to engage, and then the Suebi are just going to fall back. The Suebi will have the speed advantage here. The Spear Levy and the Bloodsworn lighter than the heavier Chosen Swordmen or Heroic Nobles. So the Suebi will be able to kite back successfully. And you can see back here in the background, here comes the Scout Riders moving up on the rear of the Iceni troops. So when the Suebi finally do turn around, I don't think that the Iceni are going to like what they get themselves into. This, there's a Heroic Noble right here. This is going to be the biggest concern over here. Spears being intercepted by Spear Levy, because he wants to be able to get his charge in with the, and here comes the fast charge. So hit fast charge on the Bloodsworn. Very good patience there with the fast charge. Going to use his cavalry to try and push through the enemy spears, because now with fast charge engaged, his guys are going to have a lot of speed. As soon as he gets through the spears, he can then, oh, look at this, slowing down the swords, drawing out a javelin volley there that now won't hit the Bloodsworn. So very nice use of the Scout Riders here, and they're going to just delay the swordsmen. And now look, a fast charge Noble Rider General. Oh, this is going to be painful. That's going to be almost like getting hit with a shock cavalry right there because of the fast charge effects. 66 charge bonus on the Noble Rider. Yeah, look at the Bloodsworn here connecting. Watch the kills because of the effects of fast charge. Lots of kills here racking up on the Bloodsworn. Plus they have good armor piercing. And if he uses Pride here in a moment with his Bloodsworn, they're going to really start punishing the Iceni troops. Look at him splitting this gap here really nicely. So Sol Invictus, very well played here with the micro through the gap, and it looks like he's going to charge into some cavalry back here. And the Suebi troops engaging the Iceni troops here. I think this is the Heroic Noble. It is. The Bloodsworn being held in reserve. Nice double back here with the cavalry. So a 1-2 punch. Bloodsworn from the front, Noble Riders from behind. And the Heroic Nobles are going to absolutely eat it here. Bloodsworn, obviously alone, not going to do well against Heroic Noble. Very nice micro on the part of Sol Invictus here. And that Iceni engagement early on was definitely not the right engagement for him. He kept his army all together, which is kind of the natural reaction when you see these Suebi flanks. But then he kind of split off and engaged one of the Suebi flanks, and that's usually a mistake to engage him. Of course, if you don't, you run that risk of having one of them get behind you and overwhelming you. So that's kind of the conundrum that the Suebi player is going to put you in. And the Suebi kind of excel at that disjointed army tactic. Basically, they are going to be good at getting you out, fighting little guerrilla-type groups that have great support. That's the strength of Suebi. They have these support units and these specialty units that, when they catch you in that right moment of combat, are going to be very dangerous. And this was a pretty good example of how that takes place with the Suebi. So definitely like that. Not your typical Suebi build. Used very well in that case. So appreciate Sol Invictus sending that in. I hope you all enjoyed this replay. HeirofCarthage signing out for now, and I will be back with more Rome 2 in the near future.